Alright, so here's phase 4. I'm just going to go through all the sensors and parts involved in this. It's long-winded, but there's also a demo that will be running as well. And here we go. So here is the current programming for Brain 1. It's pretty thorough for an opening sample. And that is the schematic. Here's Brain 2's few pages and the schematic for that. Here are the brains up here. So here is BB so far. He's just wearing a mask. That's actually his face, and he can see distances up to 15 feet and do anything I tell him to do based on those distances. Those motors are connected to Brain 2 here, runs the motors, also has the Bluetooth communication for anything you want to send or receive, and can connect to a mobile phone, anything like that, or other Bluetooth devices. Got some voltage regulators in here, plenty of capacitors, a lot of wires everywhere. Over here, both brains can talk to each other, and based on their abilities can tell each other to do things. So up here I've got some resistors for these LDRs. They are light sensors, and based on the amount of light that goes into each of these 3 individual sensors, I can tell the robot to do things based on that. Over here is an accelerometer gyroscope. It's basically your equilibrium or center of balance as a person. It can know when the robot is facing left, right, up, down, twisting, and the velocity at which these things are happening. Over here is a temperature sensor, air pressure sensor, and altitude sensor. Again, the robot can do anything based on those things. It just depends on what I tell it to do. Over here is a gesture sensor. Currently it has 9, just a basic sample program that's in here based on a clockwise motion, counterclockwise, left, right, up and down, forward and back, and a hand wave. And any of those motions, whatever I write into the program under those motions, it will do. It was doing the garage door. It had it can open and close it, but I unhooked it so I could use it in the vehicle, and it's not hooked back up yet. But that's just giving you an idea. Basically, you can hook anything up to this robot. As long as you give it the ability, you can then tell it what to do with those objects. So this is another one of the brains. They talk to each other again. Here's dual tone generators with volume controls individually. Basically, it sounds like 80s beeping old school music or video games, kind of like a Star Wars thing, and I can program any tone, sound, some different melodies possibly. You know what, it might, I think if I do a clockwise or counterclockwise, I've got it playing something. Let me try counterclockwise. Got some flashes going on here. Yeah, there you go. Little Pink Panther going on. I just took that program threw that in there from somebody who already put the music together, so I'll credit that down below. And let's see, did I miss anything? Here's an RGB LED. You've probably seen these plenty in clubs, things like that, or your room, you have your own little system. I can basically tell him to do any color of light on there, flash it in any combination, along with music, motors, movement. Speaking of motors, here's just a sample running right now, a little no, yes action, looking around, and based on the robot seeing distances, the light sensing, gesture sensing, soon sound sensing, or me voice control telling him what to do, you can tell him to move his head around, he can look around. I'm going to program him to have personality where he can interact with people based on their proximity to him. This all uses QArt, SPI, serial, you name it. It's got Bluetooth. Here I'm about to install his battery charger there, a USB battery charger, and that's the first time for doing that. First time pretty much using about half this stuff, so I'm really proud of this project. Very thorough programming, schematics, first time really doing a schematic along with the printed circuit boards here, and then just a lot of programming. I have a lot of different ideas going on, plenty of room still in the brains to program. Currently some things like just different fun color movements, like kind of to look like water's moving around in different colors, and then he'll do things. So maybe I do a gesture and it activates that. Maybe when he's happy or sad, it'll be different colors and they can change. He gets angry, things like that. I also have emotions built into them as far as tone sounds, and I'm working on the sounds for that. It's really fun. It's kind of like, it feels like kind of writing a movie or a book or something. Just listening to the sounds and really trying to make a sound, kind of like the Star Wars things, like what sounds kind of like an angry tone or a set of beeps, what sounds like a happy or like a quizzical kind of, you know, melody to him. So again, right now he's just making a few gestures just for the demo. Just very simple basic stuff. Soon I'll put some smoothing in there so it's a little more realistic, a little softer movements. And what are we missing? It's probably about 5 or 6 other things on here. It's just so much going on I can't see, but this is really fun. I really like this. So eventually I'm looking into what battery I want for him to be charging off the USB, and then this all will be able to fit inside of that bottle. I know it's surprising, but really a lot of these wires won't be there anymore. They'll be shorter, a little more compact. And over here, yeah, see we got a microphone. This can pick up sounds, just a basic sound. Is there any sound in the room? And then he can wake up or go to sleep or look over in that direction where the sound's coming from and interact with it. Up here, yeah, see I missed a few things. He has the ability to have infrared emitting, transmitting, and receiving. This is his receiver. Here is his transmitter. It's the same as your remote for the TVs and for several other things. If you ever see that little kind of light bulb on the front of a device or a remote control. And again, I can have him control things. He can turn on the TV. He can pick a channel if he wants. You can probably turn the volume up and down. Basically, any control you have on your remote control for your TV, he can do all of that. And then the same, he can receive signals in the same way and do things based on what signal comes in, what set of, you know, however it works. I can't quite explain it, but it's basically how your TV works, same thing. So right now, yeah, separate battery supplies, one to just kind of run the brains and the sensors, and then one specifically for the motors. They can be very sensitive at times, so it's nice just to have that separate battery supply. And I'm out here. I was going to do the remote control demonstration of the garage door opening. I'll do it another time. I gotta trim these wires and the sun's going down. I just really want to get this first run of this, and then I'll go more in depth on another video. Again, this will all start to get tucked in nice and neat inside of this bottle, especially when he has a nice flat battery, kind of like a cell phone battery, and that will allow just this all to be minimized. These can actually be made much smaller with what's called surface mount parts. If you've ever seen a tiny little device, well, here's a good example. You see these little baby parts and things on there. I can do that. I can put it in something and have it all work together. What I do is I make a machine that it goes into, and then that kind of heats the parts and glues them together, basically. But what I really enjoy most about all this, what's the most fun, is actually having the bigger parts and making these big boards and just kind of sitting there and putting each part in individually and using a soldering iron to connect them. That's just fun, so that's why I made the bigger boards. My goal is to get this to fit in the bottle as is with the bigger boards, and then I'll make the exact same ones maybe in the tiny little version. It's the same thing, just smaller. Yeah, again, it's just not as fun for me. But other than that, this is what's going on with Phase 4. Here is a big rundown of everything involved. Guess I spilled some liquado on there. Yeah, 2 brains, ultrasonic sensor, infrared, sensing and emitting. You can hang up anytime you want. I'm just going to run through these. Charging module, analog and digital microphone, Bluetooth module, accelerometer, gyroscope, and temperature module. Temp, air pressure module, 2 servos, RGB LED, Legoland shifter, logic level shifter, 5 volt and 3 volt regulators, potentiometers, active piezo buzzers, something, types of diodes, switching power, Schottky, flyback, electrolytic and ceramic capacitors, electrolytic, I like that word, electric, resistors, transistors, male and female headers, rechargeable lithium battery. I don't actually have that one on there yet. Light dependent resistors, that's the light sensors I was talking about. Crosstalk between the brains using SCL and SDA. That's just one of the 3 types of communication I mentioned earlier. And then this is the most complex program to date for me, 98% bigger than any program, anything I've done before. Jumper wires, external pull down resistors, internal pull up resistors, 3 types of communication, and micro SD card reader module. Soon. I have those upstairs. I'm still learning how to use that, and then I'll connect it to the system. And a weird symbol that just made it easier to find this piece of paper in the file. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for giving a sleazy. Enjoy your day, and if you love electronics, say high five in the comments below. If you didn't understand any of this, probably should watch a different video. Anyway, here's BB1. Say bye, BB. He's shy. Anyway, peace out. See y'all in phase 5. Just throw in a few more samples. Left, right, up, down, toward, curly Q the other way. There we go. Alright, sayonara. Arigatou gozaimasu.